Welcome to this retro content from Throwback Thursdays, whether it's from NoDQ.com, the Jeff Meacham Network, Casa D18 Studios itself, a Simple Man's brand, or the J. Hebert Studios, and anything to do with FTW Productions. This will be the content re-aired right here on Throwback Thursdays that you could expect to see on the Casa channel. I know watching back some of our old content, whether it's the open mic night intro where I'm laid on my bed, which I kind of cringe at, especially with this cool-ass setup now, or whether it's, just about anything to do with what we have done on FTW Productions, from a Simple Man's brand, from the J. Hebert Studios, to even some Insanity Works and Retro Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated stuff. There's some good stuff, there's some cringe stuff, and either way, I hope you guys enjoy that stuff coming up, and, even if you didn't enjoy it, I'll be along with you for the ride. Some of the stuff does not age well, like Jeff's content does. I know he has done a deep dive on his own content and cringed at his own self, but either way, I hope you enjoy it regardless. I know in some of these clips, I have a fondness to them. So with that being said, enjoy this Throwback Thursday, and until next time, we'll see you on the J. Hebert side.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
the Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
NoDQ Galaxy, we are back yet again for another NoDQ review show. And I am Virtue, here with the great review team. Jexy, I'm going to start with you today. How's it going?
Can't complain. Chilling. Got my super dope-ass NoDQ beanie on. Ready to go.
Me too. Are you ready for an hour plus of wrestling discussion?
Always.
Me too. Aaron Rift, I see you got a new look.
Yes,
you
I
got
do.
your own beanie on. How's it going?
I'm doing well, so I just totally screwed that up. I was going to say Vito is not the only bald person here. So I've joined him in that club. We're part of the bald-headed bandits, whatever you want to call us. Vito could probably come up with a better name for us. He's got that style. He's got that creativity to him. But I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to doing this video today. It's February. It's a new month. We got 2 more pay-per-views coming up before WrestleMania. Got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do. And you know what? Later today, go to NoDQforums.com and you will see February's Troll of the Month. But I will not tell you who it is. You will have to go there and find out. With that said, two-time Big Vito, how's it going?
I'm doing good. You know, Aaron, that haircut suits you. You should keep it. I like it. Jexy, you're looking good with the no DQ cap. My cap, for all you people wondering, it did not come in the mail yet. I'm sure it'll be there tomorrow.
Yes.
But I'll have it on. It's no problem. You know, I'm a company guy. Wear the no DQ shirt. Push all the merch. Guys, go out and grab your stuff. You know, I think today's going to be a great show. I think we're going to have a good time. David, I know you changed the lineup a little bit. You're going to go on and talk about some great stuff. Everybody's looking forward to this segment. Everybody's looking forward to the Royal Rumble review. If we have any talk about it, I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions. So, David, why don't you kick it off and let's get this show on the road.
Well, as you know, on the NoDQ panel, you know, they discussed what was a better show or what they liked better between NXT TakeOver Philly and the Royal Rumble. So we will go back and revisit some of those moments, but let's just let the cat out of the bag. And Aaron, we know you love cats. Ronda Rousey, or should I say Rowdy, is this right? Ronda Rousey?
Say it 3 times fast.
No.
Do it.
So here's the thing. The women's Royal Rumble match went on last. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the men's Royal Rumble match that took the steam and the gas out of the building.
Yep.
If you're going to do that, which really took away from the triple threat universal title match, to allow the women to go on last, okay, I get it. But why not have Rousey out there, not just an appearance after the match? I thought it was awkward. You had Stephanie, who was horrible on commentary. You could have had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte on the headset. That's just my opinion. And then, to me, it was a very lackluster finish of Asuka winning. So, Vito, what are your thoughts? Did they debut Ronda Rousey in a typical WWE way, which I think they did, or should they have included her with maybe something physical?
I'm going to go with what we talked about earlier because I did the earlier show on getting color. Stephanie McMahon on commentary should not have been because she's not her dad, and her dad was the premier commentator. So something in the bloodlines didn't run there. When you have the 2 champions sitting there not doing anything, not interacting, those guys should have been on commentary sitting at the end, lending their expertise and saying who they like and what they don't like and talking. The commentators did not cooperate or didn't interact with Stephanie McMahon and made her look like a slouch, so it made it boring. So it was lackluster, and it didn't add anything to the show. I thought the Women's Royal Rumble was great because they had a lot of good women coming out. They did space it out well. They brought 11 new women in, a lot of the people who paved the way. It was a good Royal Rumble for the women for the first time. Were there some mishaps? Yes. Was it perfect? No. Overall, the match was good. At the end, it was dead. Because you know what? When they interviewed the men's Royal Rumble winner, they asked him, who do you want to see? Who do you want to fight, A or B? So he picked AJ Styles. At the end, nobody came out to interview the winner. Stephanie McMahon should have came up, congratulated the girls, congratulated the Asuka, congratulated Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And then now, as soon as they asked Asuka, who do you want to face? Ronda Rousey music hits.
Right.
Now she's coming down the ring. Now, Stephanie McMahon can't be stupid because they have merchandise. They got a song. She's got the leather jacket. She's there. Can't be she didn't know she wasn't there, which is an obvious thing. So why not play the part where Rousey and Stephanie are in bed together and they're shaking hands, and, you know, now this is a women's revolution instead of playing stupid. So having Ronda Rousey stand there and point at the sign with no verbiage, no commentary, no nothing, left it off so flat that you didn't know what to say. Ronda Rousey coming out was great. Could she have gone on commentary? No, because she's not qualified to speak on what the women have done before that. And if you were going to have somebody speak there on a panel, you would have somebody older come out, like Alundra Blaze, who's a Hall of Famer or something like that. You know, that would have been good. But when you have Ronda Rousey come out with no intro and just show up without Stephanie McMahon giving her a grand entrance, why wasn't the JoJo in there, the other ring announcer, talking to interviewing the winner and the loser, and then you had nothing at the end? So it was kind of a botched thing. I'm sure it was a power thing. Stephanie on commentary was horrible. It shouldn't have been. I just think that it would left it off flat. And the women, for everything they did in that match, you did A+. It was great. Did Sasha Banks miss some kicks? Yes. Was there some botches? Yes. But are you looking at the botches, or are you looking at the overall picture of what it was? And it was good. And some of those girls, if you wanted to bring them back, I personally thought Trish Stratus should have won that match, because Asuka didn't do anything to earn the credibility to do it. If you would have had Trish Stratus, now you have Trish Stratus against a Charlotte Flair, a Trish Stratus against Alexa Bliss, but the sexy name there is Trish Stratus and Charlotte for the title. That would have been the sexy.
Well, if Trish wanted to do the match, of course. Now, the question I have for you is, if Asuka was maybe an earlier entrant, would that have been better? Like if she had actually had to work for that victory rather than come in at like number 25 and win it at the end.
Yeah, but what do you do with the other two girls? Now, Sasha Banks had over 30 minutes. Becky Lynch, who's a workhorse, never gets the recognition, but puts the work in, and she didn't get nothing out of it.
Right.
So, I mean, does it really matter in the end?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just like in the men's match, okay? You had Dolph Ziggler come in at 30.
Oh, that was dumb.
And it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Why not have Dolph Ziggler come in number 1, let him stay till 30? Then he's got reason to get mad and get beef.
Yeah.
You're wasting him at 30.
Yeah, that was so bad.
I picked Asuka to win. I just felt like Triple H had his hand in it, and she's going to continue to get pushed strong. Jexy, who did you pop for the most from the nostalgia acts that came through that Rumble? And do you think Rousey's placement was appropriate? Like I'm saying it wasn't. It really stole Asuka's thunder. And if anything, I would have rather seen Charlotte or Bliss and Asuka all start fighting to end the show and maybe bring Rousey on a Raw. What's your thoughts?
For me, the biggest pop for the women's nostalgia coming out, honestly, was Miss Jacqueline, because I expected Lita to be there. I expected Trish to be there. Besides Jackie, would have definitely been Molly Holly, and I think they both absolutely killed it in that match. Neither one of them looked like they had any rust on them at all. Excuse me. Ronda Rousey itself, a couple of things. She has a very celebrated pedigree in MMA, which she should. She is an Olympian. She's a medal winner in the Olympics. She went 12 consecutive matches in MMA, 6 in UFC before she had her 2 losses. With that being said, she's now stepping into our world into our ring, into our game. She has not proven anything to me. She has not proven anything to anyone. So I think for her to come out and just immediately point at the WrestleMania sign in general, and I'm looking at this more emotionally, not from a business perspective.
Right.
Business, obviously, it makes sense because she's money.
Yes.
But I think Vito absolutely hit it on the head when he said that they should have asked Asuka who she wants to fight and then have her come out after that. Again, she hasn't proven anything to me. I don't think that it was done very well, and I wasn't impressed with how they ended it. I think it took a lot away from Asuka.
And, you know, Ronda Rousey was a draw when she was undefeated. She lost her last 2 UFC matches and got embarrassed, especially in the last one. And now WWE wants to capitalize on her. Right. Here's my problem with bringing celebrities in or athletes that aren't in the wrestling bubble is why not build your wrestlers, Charlotte, Asuka, Bliss up to be the ones that are pointing at the sign and important. You have to bring in someone like Rousey to take their thunder. I've always had a problem with that. But again, I get it. They're trying to get Rousey fans and UFC fans that are not wrestling fans. Aaron, any thoughts on that?
Well, keep in mind, if Rousey was not there, would the women have gotten the main event spot? And I believe the answer is no. I don't think they would have been put on last. It's the fact that Rousey was there at the end, which is why the women got the main event slot. So I think that that's some kind of progress here, that they're getting the final match on a WWE pay-per-view on a major show. That has not happened. We had that Hell in a Cell match where they were the main event, but this is the first time on a Big Four pay-per-view the women got to close the show, and that, I believe, is because of Ronda Rousey.
Well, so where do you think we go from here with Rousey showing up?
Baby steps. You know, it'll take time, but I think the goal of this is Ronda Rousey should be helping elevate the other women in the long run. So if the other women become bigger stars and they make more money, then I think this is a success. I mean, I don't think we can jump to conclusions and judge this based off of one show.
Well, Rousey came out and pointed at the WrestleMania sign. Stephanie has to have her handprint over everything like she's the Eve and creator of women. So what does this leave with, you know, Bliss is the champ, and this could change. Charlotte is the champ. Carmella with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and now Asuka is the Royal Rumble winner, and then Rousey. Jexy, your thoughts. I know we're way, way before WrestleMania, but where do you kind of see this pot of female talent going? Because it's a lot.
It is a lot. Carmella cashing in, I liked how they teased it. You know, with obviously turning it around right away because she kicked the ref out. But me personally, I would love to see Asuka and Charlotte at WrestleMania. That would be a dream match for me personally to watch. Asuka has been built up for so long, over a year now, that when she finally does lose, it needs to happen nowhere else but WrestleMania. And I don't think that there's anybody in that entire locker room that's more deserving of beating her than Charlotte. Now, Ronda Rousey, where does she go from here? Well, she's obviously not developed enough to come out and start having matches, but I could see her again, as I said, maybe in a special guest referee role. I could see her maybe teaming up with somebody, maybe with Stephanie, doing a lot of interference, getting some of that heel heat on her. But Carmella.
Remember, Jexy, we never did get Rock and Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie. That would have protected Rousey a little bit.
That is true.
A lot of it, actually.
I mean, could you see them going forward and bringing that back?
Depends.
Well, you know how. It does, and he's such a big star. Aaron, what's your thoughts on that? With so many possibilities right now, with Rousey in the mix, and here's my take on Carmella, and I apologize if I get heat, I get heat. She is not deserving of that Money in the Bank briefcase, and she comes across as nobody cares. To me, she should have cashed it in and lost her attempt. And maybe that's me being
erroneous.
Erroneous. Go ahead. What would you do with Carmella in this mix of Bliss, Charlotte, Asuka, Rousey, Stephanie?
How could you say that? Because Carmella was booked and she was the baddest heel going, and she was snaking everybody for a while, right? Well, up until the point where she won the Money in the Bank, all of a sudden she carries the Money in the Bank, and they don't make her look like that nasty heel no more. They make her just look average. That's not her. It's the booking committee who don't know what to do with the Money in the Bank.
Wait. I'm interrupting, and people are going to get mad at me, and you can continue. I thought you told me before that it's the entertainer's responsibility to get themselves over or continue to, and it's never you deal with what you get. So
But how could you go out there? You got the Money in the Bank, okay? They're telling you, okay, don't use it, don't use it, don't use it, right? And if the pressure from the office is saying don't use it, we have plans for you. What do? Do you buck the system or do you go with the flow?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you go with the flow. If that was me being Big Vito and I got the Money in the Bank, I would show it. I would go. I would fake to the ring, but she doesn't have that experience, right? When you say where do you go with Carmella? This is the first time she legitimately tried to show that case. Now we got to see where she goes with it from here. She showed it. She played a hand. Now let's see how it goes from here. From now to WrestleMania, now the watch is on. They planted a seed. As far as you're saying about Ronda Rousey and where she go, what she do, and you made the point of saying, well, she lost her last fight in UFC. And,
2 fights.
Okay, 2 fights. How many fights did Brock Lesnar lose?
Good point.
Well, but he technically won his last one, even though it might have been.
No, I'm not talking about the last one. I'm talking about the one before that.
Yeah.
Before he came back to WWE, he lost his last fight, and he has been a monster. So your analysis is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And I was there.
You're
at
comparing
Lesnar's
Brock
last fight.
Lesnar super heavyweight to
At
Ronda
Lesnar's
Rousey.
last fight, he got his
basically
ass kicked at that fight.
Rousey was given jobber matches in UFC up until those last couple
Who was
women.
the
I'm
jobber?
sorry.
You're talking about Holly Holm, who's a kickboxing expert and been boxing her whole life. And what's Ronda Rousey's weakness? Kickboxing. She's a great judo. She's an Olympian. She's not a kickboxer, and she's not a striker. She never was. And when she lost the second fight to the girl who's a dominant striker, are you serious? Come on.
She's ripping off Rowdy Piper. I'm sorry, man. That's
You're
gimmick
talking like a fan right now. You're talking like a fan. You're not talking about logistics and what they did. You said, as an analyst, well, she lost her last fights. Brock Lesnar lost his last fight before he got his ass whooped in UFC, came to the WWE, won the title. Yeah, he had the suspension from drugs and everything, but Ronda Rousey in the WWE, give her a chance. Let's see what they do. Now, does she get in bed with Stephanie McMahon as a heavy and then have a rift before WrestleMania where Hunter comes in, he gets his ass handed to him, then The Rock steps in? Hey, it's a great thing. Everybody's happy, right? That's what you want to see. Can you push Ronda Rousey to the top and put a title match? Absolutely not, because she's not established. Like Jeff said, she's not established. Did she make a presence? Yes. Does she need it there? Yes. Why don't they develop their own talent? Because the own talent are not taking the ball and running with it and making their own presence felt. Sasha Banks was given 4 title reigns, and look where her career is going. Down the tubes.
Well, they were like 1 week title reigns, to be fair in her defense. It's not like she had a chance.
They still put the title on her. So when you technically look at it, if she makes it to the Hall of Fame, what is she going to be? She's a 4-time winner of the Women's World Championship. She has the same amount of wins as Charlotte. So her and Charlotte are neck and neck. So what do you?
Erroneous on your Lesnar claim, by the way. I'm using my analytical skills here. Before Brock was even in UFC, he was a WWE champion.
But wait a minute. But you're talking about
he can come back to WWE no matter what he did, and it didn't mean he lost his last UFC fight. Brock was dominant in wrestling before UFC.
Okay, and Ronda Rousey was dominant in UFC,
and never in the world of wrestling. That's all I'm saying.
But you're saying something that's not factual, right? Ronda Rousey never did. Rousey never did anything here. You're talking about Brock Lesnar going to the UFC, taking a fight, beating Randy Couture for the title. Here you got Ronda Rousey. She came in and she whooped Triple H's ass on the last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That gives her credibility right there. Okay, she's got presence. So now everybody's saying, like you said, where does it go from here with Stephanie and Triple H? Do we get this? Yeah, we're going to get it, but it's not your analysis. It's the way we're saying it. Oh, Brock Lesnar didn't do this. Ronda Rousey's still champion. Okay? Give the girl a break, all right? And put your little fan away. You know, call mom, get your pizza bites, go back to your computer. I got you, man. I got you.
And Virtue, did you even watch the video we did a few days ago with Jeff and Dylan? Did you see the clip with Dylan?
I did not watch the whole video yet, like the first 10 minutes so far.
You should have watched it, because Dylan, at the end, we asked him, what was your favorite part of the Royal Rumble? And he said Ronda Rousey. He's a kid. That's the whole deal.
And Vito, that's a fan. That's a mark. And you're calling me a mark just because I'm thinking Ronda Rousey was misplaced?
I didn't call you a mark.
Well, not a mark, but a fan. Like that's the same terminology.
I said your analysis is untracked and inaccurate. That's
Here's what just happened here. I inadvertently kneed Vito in the head, and then he gave me the receipt punch back to the face. That's what I want to talk about next. That's my segue.
Go ahead.
I want to go.
Talk about it. Go ahead, Jackson. Lead us off into that.
Yeah,
somebody's butt hurt right now. Go ahead, Jackson.
Strowman and Lesnar.
Do I need to step in and referee this, guys?
Yes.
No, go ahead, please do.
Yeah. Strowman and Lesnar. I actually went back and watched the match and tortured myself again just to see what had happened leading up to that. And Strowman knew when he needed Lesnar. He knew he did it. Did he do it on purpose? No. Did Lesnar turn around and pop him in the face? Yep. Is that something that happens in wrestling? Yep. But again, looking at it, if it was me in that situation, it would have had to have happened a couple of times. If you're a little bit stiff, if you catch me with the knee, okay. If you do it 2 times, if you do it 3 times, then you got a problem. I probably, grab you in a headlock, tell you directly in your ear, you need to slow the fuck down.
Right.
Looking at it that way, I don't really think he needed to tag him. Did it now let us build into a bigger rivalry between the two of them? Yes, but I don't think he needed to react that way.
I'm glad you said that, Jexy, because Vito, I'm going to ask you this. Back in the Attitude Era, back when there were really good creative minds booking and writing the show, they would have taken something like that, and they would have made it a great storyline. Am I wrong? Like, what are your thoughts with that situation?
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, guys, okay? Everybody's forgetting that Strowman is still green. He's still a young guy in the business, okay? He's putting these great matches, okay? And he's a big man. Now, when you're in there with a big man, you expect to get hit. Whether you get tagged or you don't get tagged. You mean to tell me when I fought Goldberg or Kevin Nash or Steiner you think they didn't hit hard? I was already prepared to say, okay, these guys are coming to Big Vito. But when Big Vito comes back, they're going to know that I'm in the ring with them. And, okay, we're here. There was never a peep, never a blip, never nothing. And I lasted 20-something years. So, okay, we want to play snug, we can play snug. You want to play nice, we play nice. But you're going to know I'm here in the house, and there's nobody I'm going to sweat, okay? Now, you take Strowman. He gave him a stiff knee. What Strowman could have did was go down to him and say, hey, man, sorry about that, and that would have been fine. But he didn't say nothing. He just kept going because he doesn't know any better. So Lesnar got up, cracked him one, and he said out loud, slow the fuck down, okay? But that's just what's going on. They're pushing him. Is there ego involved? I really don't think so. Is Lesnar cocky? Hey, bitch, you ain't getting this from me, because he already knows what's going to happen, where he's going. Probably. Does he see the monster push that Braun Strowman's getting with the truck, the Strawn, and everything? And Lesnar, being a good pro that he is putting over Strowman, putting over Kane, putting over all these guys before they get in the ring with him until the inevitable, because he's the beast.
Right.
Now, we're on a collision clause. Do you think for 1 second that this isn't going to be a hard-hitting match where you're going to see some chiclets flying? That means some spit, some teeth. You're not going to see a black eye. You're talking about 2 guys who are going to go. Now, Strowman's not going to be he's not going to be a puss about it. I'm sorry if I'm saying this the wrong way, but He's not going to be a puss about it, guys. He's going to come and he's going to bring it. He's Braun Strowman. He's 300 and something pounds. He's a big monster of a man. He's fighting the man. So if you got to fight this guy at his own game, you got to be tough. And when you're back in the day, what did they tell you? Got to be tough. You can't cry. You can't complain. They give it to you. You give it back. This could be a good old-fashioned Japanese-style match where they're slugging it out. And you know what? There's a chance Lesnar can get knocked out, but inadvertently. Or, you know what? Strowman can get knocked down inadvertently. Two big, powerful forces. So what was it? Let's run with it. Let's see what happens. Put them both nose to nose again. Let's see the match going. Because you know that this is Strowman's last chance at the title.
Yeah.
Before he gets it, right? They got to milk this for a while, and Lesnar knows he has to work with this guy, so they got to make it look good. There's no Samoa Joe. There's no Rollins. There's no Ray. You're talking big heavyweights here. And they're not going to put Lesnar in there with no small guy. They're not putting him in there with Finn Balor. They're not putting him in there with AJ. They're not putting him in there with... Exactly. So who do you put him in there with? You got to keep him good. Unless they bring the Big Show or Mark Henry to double team him and put Lesnar over even more. I mean, that's what you got, fellas. That's exactly what it is. Let's see some hard-hitting stuff. An accident is an accident, a boo-boo is a boo-boo. What Lesnar did to Randy Orton was intentional. You can't tell me, okay, yeah, you could split my head open. No, that's not the way it went. And you could tell when he got pissed off. Paul Heyman does his walk. He already knows it's coming. He sees the body language on Brock, and the story is over.
Good take, Vito. Aaron, any thoughts on this whole like Strowman and Lesnar and how they're going to buy the time to WrestleMania? I mean, we know we got Elimination Chamber next month. Sorry, is it this month?
It is
February.
We're on February now.
What's your general thoughts here?
I wonder what WWE is going to do with Strowman at the Elimination Chamber. If Reigns is going to be in the match, and if the rumors are true and Reigns is going to WrestleMania to face Lesnar, how does Strowman get beat in this match? That's what I'm curious about. I still think Strowman should be the guy to be the Universal Champion and beat Brock Lesnar. That's what I want to see. The guy to me is a guy who has organically gotten the fan reactions, and I just feel like this guy's the real deal. You know, it doesn't feel force-fed like Reigns. That's just how I see it, at least. What do you think?
Now, my problem with Strowman is he is being this monster. I'm not going to say beast because that's Brock. Monster among men.
Right.
Flipping announce tables over semi-trucks and scaffolding. But there's just something about when it comes to a match, Vito, he's gotten blown up or... It's the green is coming out.
So
the
did
green
Goldberg.
But Goldberg was on a streak, and guys, hold on a second. You're talking about two different times now. Yeah. You're talking about a time when Goldberg was coming up, and guys who were professional wrestlers in the ring with experience knew their job, and they took care of Goldberg. Everyone except Steven Regal, who didn't like the fact that he had put him over and they wanted to teach him a lesson. Well, the lesson was on Steven Regal because he almost lost his job. But every other person did what they needed to do to bring Goldberg to what he was. Now, is it the job of everybody here to bring Strowman to what he is? Yes. Do these guys have the capabilities to do it? No, because they're inexperienced. Does Strowman have the knowledge and the capabilities to run a match in a pay-per-view and be the lead guy? Absolutely not. He still has to be hand-fed. He still needs the Kanes and the Lesnars and the Big Shows and the Mark Henrys and the big men of our sport to help him get to this point. That's what he needs. He can't fight small guys because if he loses to a small guy, hey, listen, package yourself up, go back, Go buy a hot dog stand, go to the beach, get a tan.
So it's safe to say, Vito, Strowman is not ready yet. I mean, he's getting the TV time and the big spots on TV, but you can keep him protected in those. But when you put him in the ring, he's shown his vulnerability. And I'm only saying that because I'm asking you because you would know better than any of us.
You could see it in his. You could see it when he makes his movements and he doesn't know after he does a move. And you could see that stutter time while he walks around and he's not sure what to do. When you are a ring general, when you are a veteran of the sport, I always used to tell guys you have to think 2 and 3 moves ahead. Always have a spot in your mind, 2 and 3. They go, how do you do that? It's repetition. It's knowing what you got to do. I can hit you with a clothesline. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to shoot you off. I'm going to make you do a friggin' sunset flip. I'm going to come off. I'm going to smack you with an elbow. I'm going to shoot you off again. Give you a big power slam. 1, 2, kick out. Stand there. Drop a leg. 1, 2, kick out. Here you go again. Backslide. Here you go. All right, catch me. Leg sweep. Boom. 1, 2, kick out. Here I give you a punch. I stop you. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah,
and
that was great. Could you imagine 205? Could you imagine yourself, going over a match with a 205 Live guy?
But that's the thing, guys. When you go in the back, and that's what the thing. These things are not taught no more. A lot of guys don't go in there and they don't wrestle for the crowd. They wrestle for spots, and they have to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You need to go in there and go and shoot and go behind and go and call it in the ring. That's how you entertain the crowd. That's how you learn how to wrestle. When you have to follow a script and follow what you're doing, you're not learning anything. For every young wrestler out there, don't sit there. When you're training, have a match. Don't call nothing. Just go through the stuff. And if you mess up something in practice, it's practice. But you're learning how to work on the go. And when you go to a show, it's natural. This is what I'm doing in training. This is the way I'm working. If you work slow and you work tentatively, you're going to wrestle tentatively in front of a crowd. If you work 100% and you're a maniac and you have intensity, that's how you wrestle. That's how Vito wrestles. Listen, guys, I do 1,100 squats, 1,000 squats a day, okay? Am I training for anything? No. But that's what I know.
Yeah.
So I sit there, I'll go in the steam. Okay, here we go. I put 5 things in front of me. Everything is 100. I stand at number 5. I stand for it twice. I come back down. I finish this. I go to the cardio machine. I'm 20, 30 minutes on cardio. I got my 4 exercises for stomach and abs. Then I go to lift. So you're talking about boom, 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 intensity. And guys say, how do you do 1,000 squat? Nobody understands how you do it. It's in your mind. It's your machine. And then Vito has been a machine. When you have that pedigree, when you have that instilled in you, that's what you want. You just got to go. If it hurts, you suck it up. If it doesn't, you suck it up. Guys don't have heart, and that's what you got to do. When you wrestle tentatively and you don't know, guys, go on the fly. Start working. Call spot. Do things. Make up stuff. You think the big Vito with the karate thing and doing this and thing and standing there for the kick came out of nowhere? Hey, that's just me being innovative.
Hey, and Jericho and Omega called that match in the ring. Did they have probably a couple ideas planned out?
Probably.
Yeah. And Meltzer gave it 5 stars. That's great. And Vito, did you watch that whole match, Omega and Jericho?
I didn't watch the whole match.
Okay.
And you know what, guys? For all the guys out there who are wrestlers, Jackson, you too, like you guys, you don't need Meltzer to tell you, oh, this is 5-star, this is 4-star. If a vet comes up to you and says, that was a good match, you had good psychology, you did good. You don't need the people to tell you who have these, because the dirt sheet writers and those people, it's not the same like 20 years ago when you earned credibility for having good matches. You don't need Dave Meltzer to tell you had a 5-star or 4-star. Don't get butthurt. The PWI 500, it's done today. Is it done the way it was when you earned being number 76 in the world, in the top 100 in the world? No. It's send my stuff in, talk to my friend, he'll put you in the 500, pay you this, pay you that, pay a promoter, pay for a belt, pay for the other thing. It's not done. It's a different era, guys.
Yep.
Learn and train the old school way, because that's how you get over. If you call it in the ring, you're always going to be okay because you're going off the crowd. If the crowd likes what you're doing with it going for one, you keep it going. You stop the guy, right? Remember, if you're a heel, you take 1, you take 2, you take 3, you cut him off, you shoot him off. Okay, sunset flip, feel, do whatever, and then you give it back to him. Then you take it over again because you're in charge. What's to say you never see anybody pull a gimmick from their trunks? Why? Is it not allowed? When was the last time you saw somebody go in their trunks and go?
Yep.
Been a while.
And what do you got?
Vito, this passion is phenomenal, man. I'm glad I got you riled up earlier. And again, we're acting organically here, people. We're giving our opinions, and sometimes we got to butt head. That's what great debate is. Let's now move on to this. I want to go to the men's Royal Rumble match. And it came down to Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns. Now, by the way, I said if Roman did not win the Royal Rumble match, I would have to give a Virtue's Rage t-shirt out, and the winner is, her name is Lindsay, at Vampire Twinkie, I think. So nonetheless, congratulations. You will be getting your Virtues Rage shirt very soon. Now, was it the right call? I'm going to ask each of you individually. Aaron, I'll start with you. Should Nakamura have, and you can even bring Balor into the discussion if you want, went over Reigns in this match? Or do you think they should have just did it and gave Reigns that spot like we know it's going to happen anyway? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, Vito, that was a great speech there. I'm going to take a clip of that and post it on Twitter and Facebook so we can get people to watch the whole video, because I think that might draw in some people that won't normally watch the video for whatever reason. That might entice them to check out the entire thing. So I thought that was hot. That was a hot take right there. So thank you for that.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. That's just me talking. And
That's
what's
what we
inside me. And this is what is instilled in me. This is from day one. I never changed. And if I would have changed with times, I wouldn't have been Vito. It's just like saying, if Vito would have been a politic guy and would have been a yes guy, would I have been Vito? And everybody said, nah, man, that's not you. I was never a politic guy. I just wanted to be recognized for a wrestler and for my work. I never to be known as a kiss ass or do anything else. And Kevin Sullivan and a bunch of guys told me, Vito, if you just kiss a little ass, you would have been a fucking world champion. True story.
That's
yeah, but you know what, Vito? I want to tell you a secret, though. One of my buddies who's a wrestling fan, he kind of knew about you, but he really watched in the late 90s, right when WCW was right when it got to Vince Russo writing in WCW, right. His life took off and he stopped watching wrestling. He went back because he saw you doing our videos and he started catching up on what you did. And he was like, damn, I can't believe I didn't keep watching for things like that. All the different things you did. So again, you saying you didn't kiss ass and you weren't booked as a world champion, but I had somebody who really didn't follow you during your time went back and said he wished he did. I mean, that speaks volumes. And his name is Dirty Dave, by the way. I'm going to give him a applause.
Dirty Dave, thank you very much. And you know what? For all the people who watch and they say nice things on Twitter and they say things about my work, I appreciate the compliments. Believe me, it was a lot of hard work to get there, and people just don't say that to you unless they mean it. And for all the wrestling fans who go on, the WWE Network and they watch all my stuff, I even watch it sometimes. I don't like to watch myself, but I do go on there. And sometimes I'm on the couch and I'm cheering for myself because I think it was great. But then I get, but I
need a video of that, man.
No, you don't want a video. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm the biggest fan in the world, That's
all right.
No, but you know what, guys? When I watch myself doing this and I see myself and I'm like, I did this and I did this good and I'm looking at it and I'm sitting back now and I'm watching wrestling, I'm like, wow. And if I would have just been that like one little clip, I could have made that super, super duper star like level. And I was just like one tiny bit away. That clip where everybody saw on Twitter with Russo and myself, where I beat up Russo when I was with Goldberg, right? Yeah. Now, you talk about beating up the writer and the guy, and you're there with Goldberg. You're at the height right there. That's the man. And you're teaming with the man. When I beat Terry Funk for the title, and the guy and Terry Funk did me the favor, I was with the man. So you talk about having these great matches with these great guys, and I'm there with the best. And it was just a matter of just politics, and it just didn't go sometimes. You know what I mean? But you can't take away what you watch and what you look at. Yep. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
And everybody needs to go watch Vito versus Terry Funk for the WCW Hardcore title if you've never seen that match. Aaron, let's go back now. We were at Nakamura and Reigns as the final two in the Rumble, and you can even put Finn Balor in this discussion. Was it the right call?
Yeah,
or should they just did it, or should they have just did it with Reigns and got it out of the way?
I think it was the right call. I
Explain.
I did my WrestleMania fantasy video back in September, and I said WWE should do AJ versus Nakamura. What they should do is have that match, and let's face it, it's going to be like the third or fourth match from the top, third or fourth, maybe the fourth most important match on that show, even though it's for the WWE title. But the thing is, it's a dream match for your Indy/New Japan fans. Give them what they want. I think by doing this, it'll lessen the impact of Reigns being in the main event again. I think people will be more accepting of it. Maybe not that much accepting of it, but at least somewhat, because they're at least getting their AJ Styles versus Nakamura match. And I say, it's something for everybody. I think what made WrestleMania 19 such a big success was that it was something for everybody. You had Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. You had Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon for the older fans. For the Attitude Era fans, you had Hogan versus Austin. I love that show because there was something for everybody. And
Jericho versus HBK.
Yes, you literally had something for every type of fan, whether it's just pure wrestling or sports entertainment, whatever. There was something for everybody. Older fans from the 80s, 90s fans, current fans of that era, they had everything. So I like it because it's a little bit of everything. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, they can finish their issues, settle their score. AJ Styles, Nakamura, give them the chance to have the best match possible. And then the tag match, if they're going to do that with Ronda Rousey, the big celebrity match, this could shape up to be a great WrestleMania. Maybe it'll be better than what I'm expecting at this point. Maybe they'll actually come up with a really strong card this year. What do you think, Virtue?
All right, so I'm gonna my take's gonna get some people upset. Jexy, I'm gonna ask you. Well, maybe. Probably not Vito. I think he'll agree. So Jexy, you have Nakamura and Reigns at the end of the Rumble, and again, I said you can throw Finn Balor in there. Did WWE make the right call?
I think so. Yeah, I was pretty stoked to see Finn go as far as he did. I thought he did a phenomenal job staying in as long as he did. If we go back even the last 3 Rumbles, it was Reigns, Triple H, and then Randy Orton.
Yeah.
All guys that are established. Excuse me. All guys. Oh my God. that are main eventers, that have been main eventers, that have been around for a long time. I think it was good to get Nakamura in there, somebody fresh, somebody new. Him and AJ Styles, I'm going to say it now, are absolutely going to tear the house down at WrestleMania. I can't wait to see this match. Excuse me. But then,
you're choked up about it. That's understandable. It's okay.
Yeah, hey. But you didn't need to have Roman or Cena or Orton really win this match to still get plugged in at WrestleMania. There's still plenty of other options, still plenty of other things that you can plug them into to still give them their Mania spot, to now have Shinsuke, to have somebody new to start building, with something else.
Right.
Okay. Good point. I've written before in my Virtue's Rage columns that I think Nakamura should, get pushed at least to the SmackDown main event. So I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. But I guess when I saw it, I just didn't feel like I wanted it to happen. And not because of a T-shirt. I've been trying, Aaron, I've been trying to give a T-shirt away for like 6 months, right? So it's not like but I really think if it came down to Finn Balor, Nakamura, and Reigns, and I heard this, I think Vince Russo said this, Vito, Reigns should have eliminated both of them in Philly with that hostile crowd and officially turned heel. You could have still got Nakamura and AJ some way. I just think that buzz of wrestling is gone. They cater to what the indie fans, marks want, and myself included. I mean, I'm a Bobby Roode guy. They're pushing Bobby Roode with the U.S. title. So, but with that said, I followed wrestling long enough. I like the behind the scenes, the workings, how you create a show, being a Vince Russo supporter, Ed Ferrara, sorry, Vito. But like even how Vince McMahon puts his fingerprints on everything, I like to see how the product delivers. And to me, Nakamura winning it was blah. It just catered to the indie fans. So with that said, Vito, what's your take on this? And I think you have something to say about Ziggler too. I think they completely wasted that spot.
I think we all agree on that, yeah.
Go ahead, man.
All right, guys. Ziggler was totally wasted. They should have put Ziggler in number 1 and let him start the match off. Let him stay till number 30 and then be eliminated at the end. You would have got more mileage out of him, more reason for him to come out and go after Bobby Roode. Now, and I know you just mentioned Bobby Roode. His title defense at the Royal Rumble was so flat, and it sucked so bad. They put him in there with Mojo Rawley. Now, we were talking about experienced guys doing the job and getting somebody over. He did not help Bobby Roode. He friggin' dead-assed him on the finish. It was a horrible, horrible match. And for the guy to come out and have a horrible match on his first title defense at the Rumble, like I said a couple weeks earlier, Jinder Mahal should have dropped the strap to Bobby Roode at the Royal Rumble. It shouldn't have happened on a regular TV taping.
Agreed.
Now we're getting to Nakamura, okay, and Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns is the guy who's in charge of your yard. Why did he lose his yard to a guy not even from his brand? A guy not his size, a guy who doesn't belong in the same ring with him. Nakamura has not done anything to gain any recognition on SmackDown to deserve this spot. He hasn't accumulated anything. He hasn't won a title. He hasn't beaten anybody significantly. He dropped John Cena on his head, and that derailed his push. You have Finn Balor out there. Finn Balor is a joke. They're making him come out like a dork, like the rest of the other two guys of Gallows and Anderson, making him look so stupid. He comes out smiling like he's the goods. You're 200 pounds. You're not beating a super heavyweight. You got your ass handed to you by Cena, and he stuck this. I don't even know how to do it. There you go. He stuck that up his ass. So what did that prove for friggin' Finn Balor? The thing with Nakamura, he didn't earn the credibility on SmackDown to win a championship, win a couple bouts, do something. He's been a run-in, a fill-in, a tag champion. I thought Randy Orton should have done it and been the guy to go on to WrestleMania in that spot. It doesn't take away from Nakamura, but they didn't develop him enough and put him on enough of a rush or the A spot to get there. Finn Balor, the same thing. Like you said, they booked for the marks. Defeating Roman Reigns. Now, does Nakamura own the yard now because he took the yard from Roman Reigns?
Well, he's in a WWE title match, so
I would have loved to have seen
be.
A heel Reigns for the first time, to have the guts, which you could never do with Cena, against Brock at Mania. Do you know how many people would want to then see Brock like literally just destroy Roman Reigns?
I think they're going to want to see that anyways.
But you got to add that extra story. Go ahead, Vito.
What did you guys see? What did you guys see from Cena when he was in the ring with Reigns? You saw that heel come out in him. You saw the punches. You saw that nasty. That's what the people want. And the WWE refuses to give it to them. They will not do it. If you put Cena on a heel turn and he would have thrown out Reigns,
I'd be good with that.
He would have stood in the ring, dragged Reigns back in, beat him up some more, right? And friggin' left him lame, give him the FU, do the whole 9 yards. And Cena said, the hell with you guys, I'm leaving, and walked out of the building. You would have created the next Hulk Hogan heel turn.
Oh, dude,
you would have made Roman Reigns the biggest babyface in the building. Not that you wanted to, it would have just happened because they can't stand Cena. So with them not standing Cena, now you just created a whole new program. Yeah. Roman Reigns doesn't need the title. Cena doesn't need the title. If you come create an interesting storyline for the people to buy it, they'll buy it.
Good points. I mean, does anyone else? I think everybody covered their thoughts on this. So this is kind of the main event. I actually just thought of something else as we were doing this that I want to talk about. But so what do we think is going to happen at WrestleMania? I know it's early. Today is February 1st, but I'm looking down and I'm seeing potential of Reigns and Lesnar for the Universal title, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE title, the rumored Cena versus Undertaker, and I have a very good scenario about all this, but I do not want to talk about that, Aaron, until it's time for Elimination Chamber preview. So anyway, that's a teaser. And then Rousey, we don't know what her involvement is. So what do we see as like the top 2 matches? And what match will go on last? And Jaxie, I'll start with you at this year's WrestleMania. I know it's early, but it's the road to WrestleMania. It's 60-some days away now. So, and I'm going to be there. Go ahead.
Well, if Taker actually does come back for a match with Cena, I would be very surprised if he wasn't either last or second to last, obviously. It's The Undertaker. You have to put him more towards the end, right? AJ Styles, again, him and Nakamura, I see so much potential. Like, I feel like they really are just going to blow the roof off the building, but I doubt they would be put last. Lesnar and Reigns.
Okay.
Maybe.
Aaron.
I mean, it depends. If The Rock is in that tag match, and it's The Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie, I could see that going on last for sure. If Rock's not involved, if it's somebody else like Kurt Angle, it's not going to be the last match. I don't think. I mean, it could be with Ronda Rousey involved. You never know. And like Jexy said, Undertaker's got to be, I think, in that final match. I don't think Reigns and Cena, or Reigns and Lesnar, excuse me. I don't think that would be the last match. I'm not anticipating that as the last match with Rousey there and Undertaker there. I don't think that'll happen. So it's still too early to tell, I think.
Yeah. Vito, thoughts on those?
I think the opening match is going to be Nakamura and AJ Styles to open the show. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that the only match you could really pencil in is that one. I think you're going to pencil in Cena Undertaker. As far as Lesnar and Roman Reigns, you're forgetting about Braun Strowman, which nobody mentioned. Where do you go with the two girls matches? Because there has to be a Alexa Bliss match and a Charlotte Flair match.
Yep.
You still have the tag champions, which you don't know where they're going because the Raw tag team titles are so Sheamus and Cesaro that there is no teams there. Then you have, on the other side, you have the Usos, and they already beat Gable and Shelton Benjamin for the umpteenth time.
Yeah.
So there's no teams there. So the only thing you could say is let's have a Raw versus SmackDown tag team title tournament.
I was thinking that, actually.
Which would draw people. All right. And then you have Bobby Roode, who's a title holder, which I don't see him making the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You have The Miz. If everybody forgot The Miz, who's going to be with The Miz?
Well, actually, there's been speculation about The Miz facing Strowman. That's I think Meltzer mentioned that as a possibility for WrestleMania. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm not a fan personally.
I want to see The Miz versus Elias.
That was what I was going to say. That would be good. But if you drop Strowman to The Miz and Strowman was going to be Intercontinental Champion, he doesn't. It's not needed.
Yeah.
And for The Miz to fight, Miz is a coward heel.
Yeah.
He's not going to go out and fight him. And then if Strowman is going to run through the three guys, The Miz, Taraj, and them guys, to waste. So I think the card is right now up in arms. And then the lastly but not least, you have Ronda Rousey. What do you do with her?
Yes.
Okay? Where do you put her? You don't know because she's not established. So the whole card, I think Undertaker Cena is definite. AJ and Nakamura is definite. Everything else is up for even the Lesnar Reigns thing.
Yep.
I think if Strowman builds enough steam and with Reigns losing the Royal Rumble, how could you possibly put him in? Because Reigns is, if anybody knows, Reigns has been losing. He really hasn't been winning. He just lost to The Miz. He just lost the Rumble. So how do you put him in the title match at WrestleMania?
Well, if he wins the Elimination
beats
Chamber,
everybody in that match.
Vito, do you think they could go Strowman, Lesnar, Reigns to protect Strowman a little bit?
I think that if they go through a triple threat match, which I hope they do, that's where I think Braun Strowman will win the title, and then it gives Reigns somebody to chase for the title.
There you go.
You think New Orleans would go nuts if that happened?
It would go off the hook because we're sitting here talking at WWE Creative. Listen to what Vito's saying. Strowman, Lesnar, Reigns. Strowman over, and here you have Reigns chasing Strowman for the title with Brock sitting in the weeds. Now, there have been rumors that Brock is going to go back to UFC. Does he go back to UFC now? His contract is over. Do they want to pay him $12 million a year anymore? Remember, Vince McMahon is cutting costs. He's cutting pyro. He's not elaborating on anything. They are backtracking. And after WrestleMania, they're going to be firing. Who's going to get fired? Who's going to get let go? Who's not going to be with the company no more? And as far as not being with the company no more, anybody hear anything on my man Enzo or Rich Swann? Do you think those guys are coming back? I don't think so.
Because there's all these new people coming in.
Something interesting about Enzo, when they had that deal for the T-shirts, buy one, get one for $5, I went and did it. They actually still have his merch up.
Really?
Enzo's.
They're going to have his merch up because they want to get rid of what's in the lot. And every time somebody's released, they're going to sell it for $1, $2, so the guy doesn't make any money.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point, Vito.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means you're gonna debut an Enzo shirt?
No.
Did you find a Pete Dunne shirt on there? No.
No.
To be continued.
Okay. You know, it's main event. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. It's main event time. And this is literally a main event that I booked on the fly as the show was happening. And I got to thinking, we were talking about, you know, Nakamura versus AJ Styles for WrestleMania. I want each of your thoughts on what are they doing with Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, and, like AJ likes to call him, Cammy. First of all, Kevin Owens already broke up with Sami Zayn in NXT. Okay, and that was a pretty hot angle back then. And that was when Owens was getting ready to come up to the main roster, had those matches with Cena. Then he did the Festival of Friendship with Jericho. And now it's happening again, but it just seems like rinse and repeat with Kevin Owens. Here's my take. Either they're playing an angle and they're in on it and they're going to stay together and they're just trying to get a spot, you know, so the rift, no pun intended, Aaron, between Zayn and Owens right now is just a storyline and they're going to still be buddy-buddy. Or something different. I would like to see Owens get baby-faced out of this and have Zayn be the heel. But what are they doing with this whole package, and especially with Bryan and Shane? Vito, I want to start with you on this one. Like that, as we were talking about all this other stuff from Rumble and potential Mania stuff, I could not help but think about that. Go ahead.
Guys, you noticed that Daniel Bryan hasn't been on TV for a few weeks, right?
He was on last night.
Was he on last night? Because I really didn't pay
Yeah,
attention.
he was, and he was also on 205 Live, and he introduced...
who's the new general manager?
Rockstar Spud. He's now... What's his name now? Drake
Maverick.
Drake Maverick is Rockstar Spud's name as the general manager of 205 Live. I love your
He's that little... Yeah, he's like the smallest guy in the world.
So they give Rockstar Spud a freaking general manager's job. Blah, blah, blah. Add nothing to the mix. I honestly thought they were going to put some big name in front of that. They could have... I just can't believe they did that. I would have loved to see Vicky Guerrero beat a general manager of them guys.
What about your buddy Hurricane Shane Helms?
Yes.
Oh, you mean Hurricane?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was over. Yeah, you over the top rope, you son of a bitch. God. But guys, I just the Daniel Bryan Shane McMahon power struggle. It could be a storyline that just dies in the water because they're not ready to let Daniel Bryan wrestle again, and that's because of what's going on with the litigation, with the lawsuit and everything. But if all of a sudden he gets cleared to wrestle, you could have a Shane versus Daniel Bryan match, which would probably be one of the main events of the WrestleMania. And a match that people want to see. As far as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're probably going to wind up going go back and forth with each other, trying to get buddies, trying to get friends, and they're going to wind up going at it again, and then they're going to split. But here's the question. What do you do with Kevin Owens, and what do you do with Sami Zayn after this angle? Because both of them without each other are irrelevant.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that.
I mean, it's like Kevin Owens has been a yo-yo because, you know, he was a Universal Champion and lost to Goldberg. Then he had a potentially, you know, hot feud with Chris Jericho. Well, it just ended with him being the U.S. champ, the face of Amera, like I like to say, Amera KO, and that fizzled out. I mean, that to me came out in the suit, trying to make him look like a champion, the big face that he walked around. And we talked about this before, but Kevin Owens, up and down, up and down. Now they paired him with Sami Zayn, and now it's like they're splitting up already. I hope they're just fooling us.
I think it's just a tease.
All right.
Splitting up. I mean, Vito does.
Jexy, did I ask you? Did I ask you on that? What your thoughts were?
I just think I hope it's over with and done. Now, here's a question. Like, you know, we're gonna go ahead. We'll play Booker here for a second, guys. When is Chris Jericho supposed to come back to WWE?
I believe after WrestleMania, if he does come back. He's got Fozzy dates through WrestleMania.
Now, wouldn't you like to see Chris Jericho show up and have another program with Kevin Owens?
I would. I'd like to see some closure.
I think that's the way to go with it. And then if you got nothing with Sami Zayn play the jealous lover and try to friggin' break up Jericho and Owens. And there you got the list, and you got the two best heels going together. Because, like I said, guys, Owens is a good team player. Sami Zayn is a team player. To run them singly, they kind of lose their luster. You need to put them with somebody strong. That's why they complement it. All three of them complement each other.
Right.
But if you put Jericho with Owens, And you got Sami Zayn. Oh, got a new best friend. What the hell? All right, you just made the list. Crack, and we start that whole thing again. I think that'll be so much over. Well, go ahead, guys.
You don't see, like, if Owens and Zayn are breaking up again, have one of them team with Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan was cleared and the other was Shane, to have a tag match at WrestleMania or something like that. Too far-fetched?
Too far. Who wants to see it?
I don't know. Me? No. Jexy. It was just a thought. Any thoughts on this, Jexy?
I think they were building towards Daniel Bryan and Shane, but obviously Daniel didn't get cleared, so I think that kind of just went stagnant. They obviously had to pull KO away from AJ Styles now that they're matching him up with Shinsuke, but it would be kind of interesting if they do split them up. Vito had a very, very good idea with bringing Jericho back and doing then between those with a scorned friendship with Sami Zayn. But if they really are splitting them up, I do have a feeling that it is just being teased. It would be kind of cool to see Rusev step up against Kevin Owens. I would like to see Rusev Day versus Yep. I don't know. It's hard to say where they're really going to go from there. It's kind of just dying.
Yeah.
Aaron, any thoughts on that? And since Jexy mentioned Rusev, is Rusev going to beat Rude for the United States Championship?
I bet Rude ends up, or not, well, maybe both of them end up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think Vito was right about Rude. He'll be lucky if he even gets a spot on the card at WrestleMania with the way things are going. As far as Shane and Daniel Bryan goes, I mean, I totally forgot about it when we were talking about the WrestleMania matches. I completely forgot about it. So yeah, it's just completely fizzled out. And unless it's Daniel Bryan versus Shane, I really don't know how you can. I mean, we already saw Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon at Hell in a Cell. So how do you top that? I don't know. I don't know what you do with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I'm sure some people out there have some good ideas. You could leave a comment. Let us know what you would like to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn do at WrestleMania. Maybe against Shane McMahon and I don't know who. A tag match? I have no idea. I don't know what the right move is for those guys. I really don't.
Well, it's WrestleMania season. I mean, right? That's why we're talking about it now.
And you know what's funny is that we brought up Rusev Day at the end of the show. Now, here's something funny. This guy was just on Total Divas because I watched the rerun before the show.
Yeah.
And he wanted to teach his wife a lesson about going out wearing braless and her boobs are falling out. And he's out there barbecuing naked and doing his thing just to teach her a lesson and mowing the lawn in his underpants, you know. Now, as over as Rusev is right now, and nobody has brought this up, what do you do with this guy who is so over, and where do you put him on the card? What do you do with him? For somebody, like you talk about him going with Bobby Roode. Now, if you had to pick Bobby Roode or Rusev Day, I'm going to go with Rusev Day.
I agree.
I hate to say it. You know what I mean? Bobby Roode is like a fizzle. He's got Baron Corbin run all over him, and it's going to be pathetic.
Oh, yeah, we got good old Baron Corbin, too.
Yeah, I just completely forgot about that guy, too. I mean, I'm like very about Baron Corbin at this point. Sorry to the Baron Corbin fans.
But you know what happened to Baron Corbin, and like we talked about, this goes from, you know, him opening his mouth and defending himself and the lackluster run and the stuff on Twitter and not keeping his mouth shut, beating The Miz, getting demoralized, losing the title, and just being like nothing. And then when he was at the Royal Rumble, he took out 3 guys outside. Okay, they had to give him something, not like make him look like a total waste, but he got eliminated when he should have been like moving up or, you know, been there last 4 guys at least, if they're pushing him the right way. You know what I mean? But so much for the life in the WWE, guys, and, you know, you can't predict what happens, but there's a lot of good, from the 4 minds here, there are a lot of good openings and a lot of good ideas. But what do you do with Rusev Day? Where do you put him on the card?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can let a couple more weeks pass and bring that back up because everybody loves Rusev Day. You know what else I forgot to talk about?
He'll be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, by the way, if I had to make a prediction.
Well, we talked about Rockstar Spud, 205 Live. Drake Maverick. Yeah. Any thoughts from any of you before we close out the show on Jonathan Coachman taking Booker T's spot? And who's the other guy? Jeremy Borash now working with WWE. Any thoughts?
Jeremy Borash going from a closing company to coming here. What does Jeremy Borash bring to the table? Honestly, truly.
Well, could he help? Could he? I guess he's going to be working in NXT or with that crew. So NXT, I mean, they're already, they got their niche fans down there.
Right. Okay. So Jeremy Borash going from the Impact Zone, which is closing his stores. They're going to be putting him into a low thing like they do with the rest of all of Impact players, all the guys from TNA. They're going to go down to the minor leagues in developmental, and you're going to be down there. That's great. And then as far as the Rockstar Spud, okay, you put him in there on 205 Live, which is not relevant. They put him in there. Hey, great. Who's the other one you had? Which is
Jonathan Coachman taking Booker T's spot. You know what I don't get about that? It's he's like a play-by-play type guy, and him and Cole. It's just weird. Like it's a weird combo with him, Cole, and Graves.
Because they're all basically doing the same thing.
Right. And
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jackson. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I would kind of like to see Mauro Ranallo get pulled up
Oh yeah.
a little bit and put more onto Raw and SmackDown. He's so intense. He's so passionate. Listening to him call, he really kind of takes it to that next level of the suspension of disbelief.
Absolutely.
Like at NXT, he just absolutely added so much more to those matches. I think he would kind of maybe have been a little bit better choice. But
Absolutely.
But
I
I
agree
think-
100% with Jexy on that.
No
I
comment.
think Coachman, you got to give him a break. It's his first time back. He's got to get back in the swing of things. He wasn't that bad of a commentator, but he's got to learn how to work with the guys. He's not on ESPN. He doesn't have. He's not working with two guys. He's working with three.
Yeah, it felt like they
And
were a little off on Raw.
Exactly. And when you're working on ESPN, you got your segment, you know what you're talking about. There's a one-on-one kind of thing, and you already know what you're going to say. When you're at the board there for the WWE, they're talking in your headphones and they're telling you what to say and they're telling you what points to hit. Yeah. So you can only speak when you're told to speak. You're told not to say nothing when you're not told to say nothing, and you kind of try to interact. So he's got to get his niche back. So give the guy a pass for the first one. If it goes 2 or 3 weeks and he still sucks, then we can say, okay, and maybe Booker T, needs to be on the other one because he was getting stale on Raw, and a lot of people, maybe didn't care for him.
Maybe Booker T's just not cut out to do commentary. That's just my take.
he's funny though.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think he's funny, meaning to be funny. He's funny because he's so bad that it makes for entertainment.
But is anyone bad as Mike Adamley?
Good
Probably
point.
not.
Good point.
Yeah. And again, I want to keep closing the show, but I keep thinking of other things. What are people's thoughts on Sasha Banks almost decapitating herself? We did not talk about that, and I think we need to. And this will be the dark match after the show, like they like to do on Raw. So, Jexy, quick thoughts. Is Sasha reckless? I mean, what's going on with her?
I don't know if I'd say reckless, but I think she needs to slow down and definitely take that spot out of her repertoire. She's going to end up breaking her neck. But she's fast. She's hard hitting. She always comes hot out the gate. So that's just typical of her wrestling. But that's just a stupid spot. And it just needs to go, because if Asuka would have connected with it, it's going to be you getting, diving out of the ring, getting kicked in the head, and then flopping over. Instead, she just got caught on the ropes and almost snapped her neck in half. But I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on dives because I'm a little bit more old school, where I feel like it should be a last-ditch effort to get the win in the match. So I don't know.
And like only one person at a wrestling show should dive, not 20 of them. Aaron, any quick thoughts on
a couple of things,
Sasha's near mishap?
About that. First of all, it reminds me of PWG, where they would be doing dives pretty much every single match, starting in the opening match, that kind of thing.
But that's what wrestling is today.
Yeah, it is. But that's one thing about PWG. I didn't like the fact that every match they were trying to. I mean, it was a fun show to watch, but I mean, every match they were doing the dives and all that. But that's a whole other topic. I mean, we're talking about Sasha Banks here. I think when Mick Foley tells you should get rid of that, I think you should listen to the guy. Mick Foley of all people. So yeah, and Big E. I know for a while Big E was doing those dives and almost broke his neck. So I don't think he's been doing them lately. He might have. I don't remember him doing them in a while. I don't know if you recall him doing any recently, but yeah, I mean, I think she should definitely stop doing it. So that's pretty much all I have to say on that.
And okay, Vito, Jexy said she doesn't think reckless. Well, I mean, unfortunately, Sasha was involved with Paige's injury, and then she almost hurts herself. Do we have enough evidence? And I'm sure there's been other things. Do we have enough? And I heard Seth Rollins on record, and I don't know where I heard this, saying Sasha's the best female wrestler. Well, who else has been known to be reckless?
Hey, you know what? At the Royal Rumble,
Vito.
she could do the can really well.
So your thoughts on this, Sasha, and her almost decapitation?
Wow, stiff, man. All right, guys, you saw Sasha Banks. All right, she's been up, she's been down, she's been right in the middle. Okay, and you saw like her promos are still on point. Okay, and her promos still come out aggressive. You saw her matches, and they were like the last few weeks have been kind of lackluster. She really hasn't been doing anything much. Then when she's in the Rumble, you saw the missed kicks and her not the concentration level. And I say concentration to knowing not what's around and what's going on. Okay? Now you've been in the game, you're a 4-time champion. You know to make contact and concentrate. And who's the quarterback when you're working on somebody? It's the person receiving the bump who's looking at the other way going, because you are the quarterback telling me, okay, somebody's coming. So if I'm working on you and you're going, you're not supposed to be looking, okay, what's going on? Okay, anybody coming? What's happening? That's how you communicate in the ring. The dive outside the ring. Now, she did do good mat wrestling and good interchanging in the ring. What she did doing that, could she have been tired? Could her legs have given out? Give her the benefit of the doubt. It was a bad bump. Okay, she fell on her face. Now with the Paige injury, with her being reckless, giving the kick and doing that, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt, because now she just her Paige. She hurt herself. Who knows if she cranked her neck, she did anything. Should she pay attention to detail more? Absolutely. The one thing that's been noted on her, which is a bad, and what makes everything worse, is that she is nasty to fans, and she's not very nice when she's out in public. So on top of everything else that's not going her way, when you're nasty to fans and you're a little bitchy and you this and you're that, things doesn't look too good. If you're nice and you're cool and you're doing things, okay, you're having a bad day. Lita was never a bitch. Trish Stratus was never a bitch. Molly Holly was never a bitch. Michelle McCool, you never heard anything.
Yeah, and the fans,
ladies.
Yeah, the fans on on No DQ forums, they're taking it out on her, making fun of her for not having hair or whatever, and she's been the butt end of a lot of jokes on there because people resent her attitude towards the fans.
Right, and that's the big thing. If you're cool with the fans and you're cool with the people, if I came on here and I was an asshole to you three guys and I tried to make you look like a bunch of idiots.
No, that doesn't take much, at least in my case.
No, but I'm saying, all seriousness,
yes.
we have a professional show here, right? We do a professional panel, and we're all analysts, and we're giving our best thing. And if I come on here thinking I know better than 1, 2, and 3, and I try to make you look bad, and I speak bad about the forum and this and that, and then you want me, I want you guys to like me, it's not going to happen. I want you guys to treat me like a champion, it's not going to happen. You got to be an all-around performer, from the fans to the people to the press to in-ring to everything. Does she need to pay attention to detail? Yes. Does she need to maybe back it up a little bit? Yes. Did she almost kill herself? Absolutely. So what do you think? She had a great match with Asuka. It was a good match up until that point. She can wrestle, but I think her concentration level is where it is not where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to give you one take on Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey lost her match because you mentioned it, not because she couldn't fight, because she lost her concentration on being Ronda Rousey. She had so many things going on leading up to the Holly Holm fight. A movie. She's doing this. She's doing that. She's got the boyfriend. She's in the press. She's going here. She's going. What happened to the training up until that point? When she had the second fight, she went back to the training. But once you lose that edge, you can't go back and get it. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yep, and another great discussion. Aaron, I know we're going to have an hour and 30 one of these days, but we're going to save some more for next week. So with that said, it's closing time. Aaron's going to start singing now.
No.
Jexy, would you like to put anything out there?
Sure, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JexyRocks. Pro Wrestling Tees, pick a shirt.
Yep.
Again, we got these pretty dope new beanies. If you want one, hit up Aaron. Let him know that the demand's there. Rep what we do. Rock it out. Send us some pictures. You know.
Cool. Big Vito.
All right, listen, guys, we got some No DQ merch here. You know, I'm wearing the shirt because I'm a company guy. Guys are wearing the beanies. My stuff was in the mail, didn't get here on time, but you know I'm always following a company form. Check out No DQ and all their merch. It's all good stuff. Check out Jexy and her stuff. You know, you got Aaron and David. They got their thing going on. Okay. Now, if you'd like to get some merch from Big Vito, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/the Big Vito brand. Also go to Collar and Elbow. Use the Big Vito code at Big Vito. Okay. I have an Amazon list. I know people like to show the love. And it's on Big Vito at BigVito.com. Go there, BigVito.com. That's the website. Go there, check out my stuff. If you'd like to purchase something, it's all there. And we have the YouTube channel, which is doing very good, and it's at the Big Vito brand. Guys, if you go to the Big Vito brand, subscribe. It costs you nothing. Go take care of some videos. If you follow us on Twitter, you're going to find some good Twitter wars going on. Very innocent, all playful, nobody bashing, nobody just having some good old time. It's at the Big Vito brand. On Facebook, it's the Big Vito brand, guys. It's all over there. But it's good to be here with the guys on the No DQ panel. To all my trolls who know how to rock and rolls in the DQ panel there in our little chat group, guys, I enjoy winning every month. I enjoy trolling you. You guys can't beat me. Your moms are terrific. You got the wobble. You got the shuffle. You got me doing Travolta back in the day. You got my old haircut up there. I got it all up there, guys. All right? Enjoy it. Have a good time with it. Keep it going, guys. It's all good. We all enjoy it. And let's see. Did I forget anything? I covered A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, yeah. There's Getting Color on the Russo brand. That's a good show. Vince and I do a show. The Russo brand, Getting Color. Big Vito and Vince Russo. Go check it out. It comes out on Mondays. Enjoy it, guys. And like you do here with the No DQ panel review, we're all here as a team. Everybody's having a good time.
Yep.
Right on.
And that's on Podcast One, right?
It's on Podcast One. That's right.
Cool. Aaron, take it away.
Well, I just wanted to say I really like that Mr. Clean Style shirt that you posted earlier today. I retweeted that. That's an awesome shirt. So I advise everybody to go check out that shirt and purchase one of those. And maybe wear them on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and we'll definitely give you guys a shout-out. And other than that, just check out NoDQ.com and follow me at Aaron Rift on all social media. And that's about it. Virtue.
And go on NoDQforums.com this evening and see February's Troll of the Month. I am Virtue on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. And the NoDQ Review. We'll see you next week.